Today on Monson Made This, I am back using the air fryer. Vegetable noodles are really a hot thing. People have spiralizers and they're making zucchini noodles and sweet potato noodles and squash noodles and noodles out of anything that'll sit still long enough to be turned into noodles. Well, today I have a technique for you more than an actual recipe. I'm going to be showing you how to turn zucchini and sweet potatoes into noodles, but most importantly, I'm gonna show you how to cook them in an air fryer so that they come out this perfect texture that you can sauce up any way you want and they're not gonna spit out a bunch of water or crumble and break apart on you. So let's make these noodles and I'll show you how to do it. So of course you could eat these zucchini or sweet potato noodles raw, which is what a number of people do. But I find that if you want them in a hot application, it's really difficult to get them to a really nice consistency that isn't going to, like I said earlier, spit out a bunch of water. So I'm going to be cutting these zucchini noodles and I'll do the same with the sweet potatoes. Also, another trick I want to show you here is when I cut these, I usually count to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I backpedal just a bit, which separates the noodles. And then I keep going again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is an arbitrary number. It's just the number that I chose to do. And I think that creates the perfect length of noodles for me. So here we go, we have a first little bit of zucchini noodles. I'm not sure what happened, why we have some skinnier ones here, but it shouldn't make too big of a difference. So I'm just gonna finish spiralizing these zucchinis. And I'm just gonna set these into a bowl while I prepare my sweet potato noodles. Now, of course, there's a lot of smaller pieces. That's just inevitable, but it's okay. They all taste the same. So again, most people would at this point just sauce these up, but what's gonna happen is if your salt has any sauce at all, or you have like a marinara that has, it's a hot marinara that's a little bit liquidy, what's gonna happen is these are immediately gonna spit out a bunch of water and you're gonna create soup. So that's why we wanna air fry these to retain their texture. They're gonna stay nice and springy, but they're not gonna have a bunch of water, so you can pretty much put any sauce on them. So I'm gonna put these aside and work on this sweet potato. Now the problem that happens with sweet potato noodles often is that when they cook, again, you can eat these raw, but when you cook them, the thing that often happens is that they overcook and they turn brittle. And what you end up with is more of a hash brown than a noodle. All right, so I have my sweet potatoes and my zucchini all turned into noodles. I don't know if you've been to stores recently and seen that they actually sell these pre-packaged, and the price is insane. You probably get like half the amount that I have in each of these bowls for like $5 for these spirals. So it's really a great investment, maybe like 30 bucks for one of these spiralizers, and it's gonna pay for itself in like 4 times flat. Also, you'll wind up with some extra pieces, which you could kind of dice up and put into the air fryer as well and just incorporate them into your pasta. Or my dogs love sweet potatoes. This is like their favorite treat, so I always just slice these up for them. So I'm gonna clean this up here and then I will be back with the air fryer and show you how we're gonna do that. Actually, before I clean up, I'm just gonna lightly cut these up. I decided to just give my pups a snack right now. Why not? They've been great. They've been around my ankles this entire time and will continue to be probably until I give them a little treat. So it's also a good idea if you have a food dehydrator, you can make snacks for them. Just throw sweet potatoes in the food dehydrator. So let's offer them a bite. Tuffy, sit, 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 shake. Good boy. Odie, sit, 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 shake. Okay. Anyways, all right. So now I'm going to wash my hands, clean up, and I'll be back with the air fryer. Today I'm going to be using my original air fryer here. It's my Philips. I've had it for about 2.5 years, I think, at this point. So I'm just gonna dump all of my sweet potato noodles in here. It's one whole large sweet potato, and I'm just gonna throw this into the air fryer. I'm gonna put it on probably about 350 or so, and then just set it here. It's gonna take maybe about 5 minutes or so, maybe a few minutes longer, but what I'm gonna be doing along the way is just kind of checking and kind of tossing them if you have some tongs or whatever. The idea is that you want them to be soft and pliable, and you want them to kind of have a bit of a, I don't know for a better word, chewiness to them. So I'm gonna set it for about 10 minutes and check it along the way. And while that's happening, actually I'm gonna be making the sauce that I'll be putting on top of these. The sauce that I'm making for the sweet potato noodles is going to be an Alfredo sauce made with this bunch of ingredients I've already thrown into this magic bullet here. I have about a half cup of walnuts, a half cup of cashews, a couple cloves of garlic, some nutritional yeast, Italian seasoning, and a bit of Bragg's liquid amino for salt. The magic bullet is definitely not the best utensil for blending this up. Oh, I also have about a half cup of water in there, but it's what I'm going to be using today. So I'm just going to blend this up. All right, that is the sauce. This is like my favorite Alfredo right now. It's all about the walnuts in here. It just gives it such a crazy, like realistic Alfredo flavor. Anyways, I'm gonna set this aside and cook my zucchini noodles, and then I'll sauce and present both of the noodle dishes together at the same time. So these sweet potatoes have been in here for about 5 minutes, and I've probably tossed them about every minute or so. And again, you sort of wanna just test them to see that they are softening up, but you don't want them to be breaking. I'm not sure what that was about. You don't want them to be breaking up. So these are done, and I'm going to just put these into a bowl and just let them hang out for a minute before I sauce them. Let's now cook up the zucchini noodles. If you can see in here, I've actually chopped up the center little column that comes from the spiralizing process. So just gonna dump these noodles in here, into the air fryer. Oops. These will actually cook up a little bit quicker. Same temp, 350, and I'll be checking them again about every minute just to toss them and make sure they are not overcooking and that they are getting evenly cooked. All right, these zucchini noodles are also done. As you can see, they are soft, pliable, still holding their shape. But again, the purpose of doing this in the air fryer was just to eliminate a lot of that water so that when I put sauce on top of them, it's not gonna create just a big puddle or a soup. So I'm gonna put these in a bowl, and then let's sauce these and plate them up. So these sweet potato noodles are definitely the most impressive. Their texture is just incredible. So I'm going to be putting my walnut and cashew Alfredo sauce on here. It's a bit thick, but I'm gonna toss this around. Just want you to see how kind of resilient these noodles are compared to if you were to have cooked these stovetop, or I know I've seen like sauteing directions. It just breaks these down completely. So air frying them just really helps with the texture. And they will be a bit al dente. The texture is not completely soft and soggy. They still have a bit of a bite to them. So now I'm going to plate it up. My sauce is admittedly a bit stiff for this, but I'm going to just add this onto the plate. Some of the noodles are still a bit long, but just make a big heaping portion there. And then I'm going to top this with some homemade vegan parm. I'll post a recipe for that also. All right, next I'm going to sauce up my zucchini noodles. And this is just a store-bought marinara sauce that I've seasoned up a bit. As you can see, they're holding their texture nicely. They're not spitting out a bunch of water. and they're going to have a really nice texture as well. And let's also top this off with a bit of that vegan parm. Again, this is not about a recipe, this is about the technique of using the air fryer to soften up the noodles, to dry them out a little bit, and to improve the texture. Again, you could eat these raw and that'd be great, but if you wanted a nice, warm pasta dish using these vegetables, using the air fryer is the best way to do it. It eliminates a lot of the water, softens it up, makes it so it doesn't puddle up as soon as you add any sort of sauce. You will have a little bit of liquid release, like it's not gonna not happen, especially with the zucchini, but this is an incredible technique to get the best texture out of these vegetable noodles. So let's give them a taste. All right, let's give these a taste. Admittedly, we had to do glamour shots of these, so they've been sitting for a while, but the thing I wanna show you is, especially with these sweet potato noodles, the way you can kind of curl them around your fork, just like spaghetti, which is not something I feel like you can do with many vegetable noodles. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste. I love that sauce. And on these noodles, they are just the perfect texture. As you can see, it's just like spaghetti. Twirls, has the right texture. And again, I feel like if you try to do this any other way with sweet potato noodles, they're either gonna be too raw or break apart and turn into hash brown. So good. Admittedly, pardon me. Admittedly, these were releasing a little bit more liquid than I would have liked. Maybe I didn't leave them in the air fryer long enough, but as well, you can see they've got the good twirl going on, great texture. They hold on to the sauce. I find if you try to do this, if you try to cook them or boil them or anything else, the texture just isn't right. They break apart. Here the sauce is staying on, flavor is solid. I mean, it's a delicious pasta dish, just made using zucchini noodles. So I can't wait to finish these up. I'll probably do one at a time, but I definitely think you should give this a try, at least with a technique. Again, anything you can put on these noodles, any other sauces, put the marinara or the Alfredo sauce, swap it, use summer squash, anything. But the air fryer really does help nail that texture. I know I just keep repeating it, but that's really the best way to cook these noodles. So give it a try, comment below if you do try it, let me know what other vegetables you do try it on. And yeah, I hope you do enjoy it. Sorry about last week, not having a video, just got a little bit caught up with work, and it's the end of the year, so things have been crazy. So I apologize for that if you were looking forward to a video on Monday. I apologize for not putting a video out this past week. Things were just kind of crazy with the end of the school year and grading, and I just really didn't have time. So I promise I will have a brand new video for you next week. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you haven't yet already. Share it around, tell all your friends, and let's help grow this channel together. So I hope you have a great week. I will see you next week, and I'm gonna finish my noodles.